Hey, everybody. Welcome to Voice of Hope. My name is Patty Hart. I have my husband with me today, Mark Hart. Mark?
Good morning.
Today we wanted to talk about what we've been doing these last couple of weeks. We were part of two big events. We went out to Michigan a couple of weeks ago. They had, it was like a hippie fest, really. A lot of people came together and...
Jesus People Camp Out,
Jesus
I think
people.
it was called.
Yeah. And people came together to fellowship and to worship and to share their testimonies. We were able to share ours as well. And then Saturday, we had our final bike run, Ride for Recovery, in memory of all those who lost their battle with addiction. It was one of the best events that we've had, one of the best bike runs that we've had.
Yeah.
Skies cleared up and we drove right through Avon Lake and Berea Police Department. They stopped the traffic for us to ride through their cities. That
Shout
was
out to All American Motorcycle Club for stepping up and doing the road captains for us on a whim like they did.
And Still Survivors.
The Still Survivors did it for the past few years for us.
Yeah,
Thank God for them brothers too.
VFW too.
VFW's always been good to us and gave us a place to hold our event.
Yep, they've helped out. They've been part of it. A good group of people. We've always had people in our neighborhood, our family, our friends. I mean, we couldn't do this without them. We are just so blessed for all those who jumped in and helped us out.
Amen.
So the reason that we started this bike event, Ride for Recovery, is in memory of our boys. Not just our boys, but everybody gathered together and represented their loved ones as well. But we started because we lost two boys. We have 4 children, Marcus, Trisha, Nathan, and Kyle. We lost our firstborn, Marcus, February 18th will make 10 years. He was only 25 years old. He struggled with addiction for many years. He went into the Army to get away from it all. He came back on Valentine's Day, and February 18th, he lost his fight. Marcus was a good man. He was missed dearly. And then Nathan, our middle son, he married his beautiful bride in September of 2020. They have a little girl, Paisley, 7 years old. She is adorable. He lost his life. He took a Percocet that was laced with fentanyl. He went to a party and never woke up. So this is why we continue to stand up and fight. Voice of Hope is a platform to give you guys hope. Those of you that are struggling in addiction, the parents, because this is a family disease. It gives us hope to be able to get out of bed in the mornings. God has blessed us. And when we are weak, He is strong. And we thank Him for all that He has done for us in our life.
Yeah, it's hard. I'm going to speak about something that it's bothered me for a long time since we lost Marcus. You know, he's the one that showed me my first steps in fatherhood. And I didn't know what I was doing. I was young at the time when I had Marcus, and it's not an excuse, but I just didn't know what I was doing. I was too busy doing my thing. And I was glad I had a child. I would have never thought that I would have been put in the predicament I'm in now. You just don't dream of things like that as a parent.
Yeah, for me, Marcus, looking back, he saved my life.
Yeah.
Because I was headed down that dark path.
Yeah.
And he saved my life. And
well, I had nowhere to turn to. I didn't know where to turn to.
Yeah. We turned to God. I remember we ran to God, and God is...
kept us strong.
Yeah, He kept
and
us
it what didn't make life all hunky-dory. I mean, we still lost Nathan, you know, just a handful of years afterwards.
Well, we can't see the big picture. God sees it, not us.
Yeah.
And I trust in Him. I believe in Him. That's where our faith comes in.
Yeah. You know, I feel as a father, I feel like I made a lot of mistakes, you know, raising my my children. I've raised them all with the same love, same direction.
Yes.
But it seems like as a father, I just couldn't do good enough. And
you're a good father.
There was one thing that helped me recently is a good friend of mine at work. He posted something on social media, and it stuck with me. And I just want to read a little bit of this. This guy's name was Nathan Ingram. He's got this Tranquility Ranch somewhere in Texas, and I believe he's a pastor. He does have videos up on YouTube. I checked into this guy, but these words really help me. Being a father that feel like, I didn't do right with my kids when I should have just let go and let God handle it, because he's the one who brought them into this world. But listen to this. Don't feel sorry for or fear for your kids, because the world they're growing up in isn't what it used to be. God created them and called them for the exact moment in time they are in. Their life wasn't a coincidence or an accident, so raise them up to know the power that they walk in as children of God, and train them up in authority of His word, and teach them to walk in faith, knowing that God is in control, and empower them to know they can change the world. Don't teach them to be fearful and disheartened by the state of the world, but hopeful they can do something about it. Every person in all of history has been placed at the time they are in because of God's sovereign plan. He knew Daniel could handle the lion's den. He knew David could handle Goliath. He knew Esther could handle Haman. And he knew Peter could handle persecution. And he knows that our children can handle whatever challenge they face in their life, because God created them specifically for it. Don't be scared for your children, but be honored that God chose you to parent the generation that's facing the biggest challenges of our lifetime. So rise up to the challenge and raise up Daniels and Peters and Davids and Esthers. God isn't scratching his head, wondering what he's going to do with this mess of a world. He has an army he's raising up to drive back the darkness and make him known all over the world. So don't let your fears steal greatness God placed in our children. I know it's hard to imagine if it was anything but our sweet little babies, but we just want to protect them from anything that could be hard on them. And they were born for such a time as this. Man, that's
that is
powerful.
so powerful. It gives you peace knowing, that we are.
We have to understand
part
that
of the
God
plan.
brings us into this world. And through God's grace only will we be in an everlasting life with him. It's all God's grace.
It is. And then you think as a parent, when you're trying your hardest to save them, to fix them, and you can't, we can't save nobody. And then God uses us, some of us, through our life, and some of us through our death as well. Mm-hmm. And here sometimes as mom and dads, we're trying to change God's purpose for a lot of, and he's like, get out of my way.
Get out of my way.
And
let go and let God get this going.
And he reminds us what was meant for evil, God's going to use for good. And that is what he's been doing. And that is what this platform is. There's going to be a lot of hope on this podcast. We're going to share a lot of resources with you, and we are going to be the voice. This isn't going to stop with just us. We're going to bring a lot of people on, and they're going to share their redemption stories about their recovery. We did raise Daniels. We did raise some good boys and an Esther. Yeah. Our children is
and a Peter and a
what
David.
A blessing your kids are. Don't give up on them.
Yeah.
There's hope out there. I've said this so many times. God sometimes heals us here in this lifetime or eternity. And our boys are home. We're just not there yet. And until then, we have a purpose in life as well, honey, me and you. Everybody that is alive has a purpose. It is not time for us to sit down. We have to stand up. All right, the generation behind us is depending on us to fulfill our calling in this life. We owe that to them. Amen.
Amen.